I'd like to call the meeting to order. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2020 Annual General Meeting for the Women's Centre of York Region. My name is Judith Puttock, and I am the Chair of the Women's Centre Board of Directors. As you are all aware, the health and safety requirements have restricted in-person meetings. Therefore, we are hosting this meeting tonight virtually. At the Women's Centre of York Region, we are accustomed to challenges. However, to say that we could have anticipated the impact brought on by the coronavirus pandemic would be an understatement. I am delighted to be here tonight among all of you who have rolled up your sleeves to help us succeed, and I thank you all for joining us this evening. It's important to note that we will be recording tonight's meeting, posting the video on the Women's Centre of York Region YouTube channel, our website, and distributing this video to our funders, donors, and community partners. In addition, our audited financial statements and our gratitude report that we will be reviewing shortly are available on our website at www.wcyr.ca. They have also been included in your agenda package. Please use the chat function to ask any questions, as everyone attending this meeting will be muted with the exception of our voting members and guest speakers. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the Mayor of Newmarket, His Worship John Taylor, to deliver our territory acknowledgement.
Thank you very much. First, I just want to say thank you for the invitation to be here, and thank you to the members of the board and the employees and the volunteers and the clients of the Women's Centre of York Region for making Newmarket a better and a stronger place. And your work and your contributions to our community and to improving our community are greatly appreciated. Before I provide the land acknowledgement, just want to make a few comments about providing a land acknowledgement. I'm proud to say that Newmarket Town Council recently approved and installed the first permanent land acknowledgement that I'm aware of in Canada on the outside of a town or city hall. And we do it because we're recognizing more and more how important land acknowledgements are. In the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and I've had the pleasure of learning some of the work that went on there from Maurice Sinclair himself, who was very involved in that. And part of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, recommendations that have many, but land acknowledgements were amongst the work that was recognized. And what I've heard and learned since then is that there's a risk that with land acknowledgements that they get said over and over and they become background noise, or they start to blend into the background, and they just are something you do in process or procedure, and that it's very important to stop and think about what a land acknowledgement is trying to achieve. And in the Truth and Reconciliation process, they ask us to look at both the truth and the reconciliation aspects, obviously. Well, the truth is that we are on Indigenous land, traditionally occupied by various peoples, and we need to think about that deeply. And so I'll share a quick story with you. About 10 years ago, I was able to go out to a site on Bathurst Street, a regional road site, where they'd found an Indigenous remains settlement area. I asked if I could go out. I was very interested and intrigued. I have a background, as you'll hear shortly, working for and with Indigenous people. And when I went out to this, it was a beautiful sunny afternoon, and it was a blank field, but they'd scraped it back. And the experts took me out there, and the archaeologists and the experts, and sort of said, well, this is what you're looking at. And what you could see clearly there was the soil discoloration for every pole that entered the ground from a longhouse. And you could clearly see the outline of the longhouse. There's no mistaking it. And then in the center of the longhouse was 4, or maybe it was 5 discolorations where there were fire pits. And believe it or not, that was clearly seen to this day. And then just outside of it was a garbage pit area, and probably what they thought might have been a sweat lodge area. But the bottom line was, you stood there on that beautiful day and you looked at this and you stopped and you thought about it. And what we were looking at was a 13th century Huron-Wendat longhouse site. And I was told there would be other ones around it underneath the forest bed. So 13th century, when you think about that. So when we talk about a land acknowledgement. It's not just, oh, and by the way, there was Indigenous people here before. There was right here on the edge of Newmarket on Bathurst Street, there were multiple longhouses with multiple families, 700-800 years ago. Taking care of the land, experiencing life, playing with their children. That's what land. That's what we're acknowledging, is that presence and that history. I also had the opportunity to work in a couple of Indigenous communities. One in Manitoba many years ago as a teacher. Now probably over 35 years ago, and it was an amazing experience. And I'm still in touch with a lot of the people from the community today. But one thing I did experience was obviously I experienced the incredible strength and beauty of the people and the culture, but I also saw firsthand that the residential experience left the community, the students, families, with scars, with challenges they faced many years later. The trauma of that experience lived on, and so that's part of the reconciliation part, is realizing that the history of colonization was playing out still today in many ways, and still needs to be addressed in many ways. And so I guess just as I finish up and read the land acknowledgement, I'd say that, now more than ever, whether we're talking about anti-Black racism and Black Lives Matter, whether we're talking about, colonization and the Indigenous people of our country, or whether we're talking about sexism, gender inequity, domestic abuse, the need now to have those awkward but honest and open conversations are greater than ever. And I believe that we'll get stronger through them as communities and as people. And again, I applaud your work. And now I'd like to offer the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the town of Newmarket is located on the traditional territories of the Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe peoples, and the treaty land of the Williams Treaties First Nations and other Indigenous peoples whose presence here continues to this day. We thank them for sharing this land with us. We also acknowledge the Chippewas of Georgina Island First Nation as our close neighbors and friends, and we work to ensure a cooperative and respectful relationship with them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Ostheim, and I'm the board chair here at the Women's Center. Thank you, Mayor Taylor, for being here tonight and participating in our AGM. We truly appreciate your support, and also for personalizing the land acknowledgement for us tonight, which was different. I've certainly heard it many times, but really nice to hear that as well. On behalf of our staff and board of directors, we'd like to thank everyone for making the 2019-2020 year a success, and congratulate you all for your assistance in helping our clients to succeed. We at the Women's Center of York Region believe that every woman deserves to feel empowered and to live to their full potential.
Thank you, John. Are there any questions or amendments to our agenda? May I please have a motion to approve tonight's 2020 Women's Center of York Region Annual General Meeting agenda?
Yes, I will make the motion.
Thank you, Kim.
And I'll second the motion.
Thank you, John. All those in favor? Thank you. Let the record show the motion has passed.
Hello, my name is Kim Powell, and I'm the board secretary here at the Women's Center. I'm truly proud to be part of an organization that is known in the community for helping women break through barriers to success and reach their true potential. At this time, I would like to recognize our executive director, Leora Sobel, currently on maternity leave, who has joined us on the call. Congratulations once again, and thank you, Leora, for being here this evening. I would also like to sincerely thank Kelly Broom, formerly Vice Chair, Board of Directors, who has taken a leave of absence from the board to be the interim executive director in order to support the center through the impacts of COVID-19.
Thank you, Kim. Are there any questions arising from the minutes? May I please have a motion to adopt the minutes from the 2018-19 Women's Center of York Region Annual General Meeting?
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Diane. We need a seconder. I don't think Fiona's here.
I'll second that. It's Caroline.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. All those in favor?
Yeah.
And let the record show the motion has passed. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caroline Lee, and I'm very pleased and proud to serve as the new treasurer here at the Women's Center. I'm very passionate about empowering women and providing them with the tools and resources to attain success, along with promoting equality and inclusivity. I'm looking forward to sharing my skills and bringing my passion in support of the Women's Center. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our auditor, Louise, from Bateman, Graham, and Fitzpatrick Chartered Professional Accountants, to present our audited financial statements for the fiscal year ended March 31st, 2020. Bateman, Graham, and Fitzpatrick have been helping businesses and charities succeed in Southern Ontario for over 40 years. They believe the foundation of a strong future is a strong community. So with that, let's welcome Louise Kiefer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight. And what I plan on doing is just going over in a brief overview of your financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2020. As you can see on the screen is the first page, but that's just the title page, but we'll just skip to page 3 if you don't mind, which is the independent auditor's report. And what I just want to highlight there is that common to many nonprofits, we have issued a qualified audit report. The next page will be that's the one. Thank you. We've issued a qualified audit report, and that is standard for nonprofits. The qualification relates solely to the completeness of revenues derived from donations and fundraising activities, as we're not able to satisfactorily audit that information, and therefore we have to put a qualified opinion. I would also like to just start by noting that we received full cooperation from members of the board of directors and all the office staff, and we were granted full access to all necessary documents, which made our job very easy. During the course of the audit, we found the controls and record keeping to be in good shape. So now if you want to go to page 5, I'm just going to go over in quick summary of the statement of financial position. At the end of the fiscal year, your cash had decreased by $9,000 compared to last year. And then your sales tax recoverable and prepaid expenses were pretty much in line with the prior year. Your sales tax recoverable was a little bit higher than the previous year. And then if we go down to the current liabilities section, and you will see that the accounts payable and accrued liabilities was down from 45 to 21,000. And this decrease is largely due to timing of payments for your payroll liabilities. So there wasn't nothing really out of the ordinary except the timing from one year to the next of paying your liabilities for payroll. At the end of the year, your net assets grew from 135 to 155. And we'll see how that arrived on the next page. So if you want to go to page 6, we'll just go over the statement of operations and assets. This will show us the breakdown of your revenues between all the different categories and how each one compared to the prior year. Overall, your revenues were down from $839,000 to $735,000, which was a decrease of $104,000 for the year. And the main decreases are in a few areas. The main ones are the Trillium grant. There was third-party grants were down as well as federal grants and the Ontario grants. So those were the areas that you saw the revenue pretty much where the decrease were. And if we move down to expenses, they were lower overall you saved about $38,000 from the year before. So in 2019, your expenses were $753,000 compared to 2020 of $715,000. The expenses overall were either up or down just a bit in each category, but the main areas that I wanted to point out where you made your savings was in 2020, you did not incur any moving expenses, which saved you $17,500 because the prior year is when you actually moved to your new location. So this year you were able to save that. The other areas that were down and where the savings arose was childcare and client support expenses, which was down by $12,000. And the other area that I would note was the occupancy was down as well by $9,000, and mainly that is because you have the savings for your new location. You don't have to pay hydro, and the TMI is lower than in the previous location. So that is a very brief summary of what happened in the statement of operations and net assets. And at the end of the day, your revenues over expenses was $19,000, and that's added on to the net assets of the previous year of 135, and that is how you end up with your net assets being at 155,000 for the end of the year. The balance of the statements in the package consist of things like the statement of cash flows and disclosure notes. I don't really think there's any benefit in reviewing these unless someone has questions. But the only thing I do want to mention is on the last page is note 6. So if you want to go to the very last page, yeah, that's the one. Note 6 relates to the pandemic that is currently affecting everybody. And this is a new note, obviously, because we didn't have a pandemic the year before, and we do have to disclose this. And basically the note is just outlining what the pandemic is and how it is affecting the organization. And when our discussion with management at the time of June 20th, when we prepared all these statements, the financial statements, we could not make an estimate of how the impact would affect the financial statements going forward, and management was uncertain of the effects of these changes on its financial statements. So there's really no unknown thing that we just don't know what the impact is, and therefore we couldn't reflect it in the financial statements, but we do need to bring the readers of the financial statements aware of this. So anyways, that's all I have really to say, unless anyone has any questions or want more details on anything.
Thank you, Louise. Thank you for taking the time to present to us this evening. Are there any questions arising from the Women's Centre of York Region's audited financial statements ending March 31st, 2020? May I please have a motion to approve the Women's Centre of York Region audited financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2020?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Jennifer.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, John. All those in favor? Let the record show the motion has passed. May I please have a motion to appoint Bateman, Graham, and Fitzpatrick, Chartered Professional Accountants, as the auditors of the Women's Centre of York Region for the coming year, 2020 to 2021.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Caroline.
And I'll second it.
Thank you, John. All those in favor? Let the record show the motion has passed. Thank you once again, Louise, for your presentation and for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you. And I will, if you don't mind, I will have to say goodbye, but thank you for having me, and have the rest of your meeting be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Broom. I'm the Interim Executive Director here at the Women's Centre of York Region. I would like to take a moment to recognize some incredible people here in the room tonight and watching this video on YouTube in the future, who have been instrumental in our success. Our funders from the Ministry of Children and Community Social Services, Mona Lise is on the call. Thank you, Mona Lise, for being here. The United Way, Julie Warrington. And from the region of York, Pamela Blackmore. Your leadership, advice, and support has been amazing. You're incredibly engaged in our work, and I thank you very much for helping the women and their families in York Region to succeed. Our donors and community partners, thank you for giving us the ability to pivot and support our women and their families in our community. I see Tracy Walter from the Newmarket Chamber of Commerce is also on the call. Thank you so much for your support. And Marie Charlandini, I see in the call as well. She's been a supporter of the Women's Center for more than a decade and just happens to work for another amazing community partner known as Vince's Market. So thank you so much for being here. I'd also like to thank our amazing volunteers and our board of directors for giving their time to support us and our amazing staff. Gail, Pilar, Brenda, Marcella, Melissa, Allison, Anna, Vivian, Phyllis, Kate, Sarah, Helen, and Kathy. And of course, our team manager of over two decades, David. Your care and dedication and work that you do for the Women's Center is truly incredible and very much appreciated. I would also like to honor some of our staff who have moved on from the Women's Center. Yara, Deborah, and Poe, your contributions to the Women's Center of York Region have been important and appreciated. And a special note to Deborah, who is hanging in with us until November the 13th to ensure every one of our clients is supported. I would like to recognize her for her incredible leadership in the face of COVID-19. Thank you all once again. At this time, I would like to introduce you to a few of our staff to provide a brief overview of their role here at the Women's Center of York Region, starting with you, Pilar, our Making Changes program.
Okay, ready. Hello, everybody. My name is Pilar Filate, and I'm the Making Changes program coordinator. This is a life skills group program that serves around 300 women per year. They come from hospitals, they come from counselors, many people around in the area. They refer people to us, or sometimes just because another client is talking about our program and they register. I've been with the center for 9 years, and my role is that the 10 groups that we offer, and we are still offering the same 10 groups online, they run well and smoothly, and to maintain the good quality of the program through different evaluation strategies that we use. And I'm very passionate about the program, the center, and thank you.
I think Helen, you're next.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Helen.
No, it's okay. Hello, my name is Helen Dantas. I was once a client of the Women's Center of York Region. Today, I'm a facilitator of a program which I believe to be of great importance for women, financial empowerment. It teaches various ways to budget, reduce expense, the ins and outs of credit cards, credit reports and scores, debt management, and more. Thank you.
Marcella.
Okay, hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Marcella, and I'm a facilitator with both Enterprise and Careers and Making Changes programs. The Enterprise and Careers program is a career exploration program that helps women recognize their skills, their knowledge, and their interests, and develops a personal action plan so that they are job ready. And we have a quick testimony from one of our clients. And I say, quote, "This course, along with personal stuff going on in my life currently and in the past, has helped me decide what I want to do for a living. It made me feel more confident in my ability to move forward with these educational and career goals, and it renewed my passion." Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Herman. I am the Program and Fund Development Manager at the Women's Center of York Region. I oversee the programs, and I also help to ensure the financial health of the organization. In addition to the programs mentioned, we also offer individual and transitional counseling. Our individual counseling program is for women who have experienced violence, domestic or otherwise, to help them regain confidence and work towards a sustainable livelihood free from abuse. Our transitional counseling program supports women who are looking to leave an abusive relationship safely. I will now read a client testimony from our counseling program, Charlotte's story. Right from the beginning, I knew that something was wrong, but my intuition was silenced by the hunger for love I had. Later in our relationship, I realized clearly that I was suffering, but I wasn't able to identify the source. It was standing next to me, and I was calling it love. Being in the relationship was like being locked in a prison, being tied up and unable to speak. I experienced physical, sexual, emotional, and financial abuse through this relationship. I wish for all those who are trapped in abusive relationships that they find the Women's Center and can get out and live in freedom again. The Women's Center taught me about the cycle of abuse that both helped me escape my abuser and find my way towards independence, true love, and proud to be the person I am. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Allison. The Women's Center of York Region is proud to have served York Region since 1977. Celebrating 43 years has taught us how to keep up with the needs of our community. I could not be more proud of our staff during these ever-changing times. I'm very proud to share with you our 2019 and 2020 gratitude report and some highlights from our strategic plan. For the 2020-2023 year, we will be focusing on 3 key drivers. Program delivery and enhancement by measuring change, impact, and community and reframing the issues. Revenue growth by diversified funding, sustainable fundraising, and self-generating revenue. And key driver number 3, branding, marketing, and communications by improved branding and communication tools, revitalizing our brand and increasing our presence in the community. We are very proud of our 2019-2020 gratitude report, and I truly hope that you all enjoy it. It was included with your agenda packages. Finally, I would like to say thank you to Sylvie Lessard for her contributions to our report and to introduce her to say a few words. Sylvie?
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sylvie Lessard. I have been a resident of York Region for over 23 years. Recently, I've had the pleasure of becoming a client of the Women's Center, participating in a series of sessions as part of the career orientation seminar, working with our wonderful leader, Marcella. She's very organized and engaging. I was also thrilled to be asked to help out with the gratitude report so that it could be offered in French. This means a lot to me as I am an active resident of the Francophone community of York Region. This experience has provided me with tremendous insight to all that the center has to offer, and I look forward to being able to participate even more. Now in French. Bonsoir à tous, je m'appelle Sylvie Lessard, je suis résidente de la région de York depuis plus de 23 ans. Récemment, j'ai eu le plaisir de devenir une cliente du Women's Center of York Region en participant à une série de sessions de formation axées sur les carrières. C'est formidable de travailler avec Marcella, elle est bien organisée et toujours à l'écoute. J'ai également été ravie qu'on me demande d'aider à rédiger le rapport de gratitude afin qu'il puisse être offert en français, car je suis également active dans la communauté francophone de la région de York. Cette expérience m'a permis de mieux comprendre tout ce que le centre a à offrir et j'ai bien hâte de pouvoir y participer davantage. Un gros merci à Kelly de m'avoir invitée ce soir. Thank you, Kelly.
Merci beaucoup, Sylvie. And thank you all so much once again for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Sylvie. Merci. At this time, I'd like to recognize 3 retiring members of our board of directors, our past vice chair, Jill Hendry, our past treasurer, Trudy White, and past secretary, Angela Vague. Thank you for bringing your passion, your intellect, your insight, your experience, and resources to the table. You will be missed.
Thank you very much, Judith. At this time, I would like to introduce our board of directors nominees. You can view their biographies in our gratitude report or by visiting our website at wcyr.ca. Judith Puttock, do you accept your nomination as a board member of directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
I do, yes.
John Ostheim, do you accept your nomination as a member of the board of directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
Yes, I do.
Caroline Lee, do you accept your nomination as a member of the board of directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
I do.
Kim Powell, do you accept your nomination as a member of Board of Directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
Yes, I do.
Jennifer Gibbs, do you accept your nomination as a member of the Board of Directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
Yes.
And Diane White, do you accept your nomination as a member of the Board of Directors for the Women's Center of York Region?
Yes, I do.
And I'll just mention that Fiona Cow is not on the call, but she is nominated to be a member of the Women's Center of York Region's Board of Directors as well.
Thank you, Kelly. May I have a motion to appoint the slate of directors for the 2020 to 2021 Women's Center of York Region Board of Directors?
I will make the motion.
Thank you.
The motion?
Thank you. All those in favor? Let the record show the motion has passed. So thank you all once again for joining us for the Women's Center of York Region Annual General Meeting. We look forward to continuing to work with all of you. Your contributions have been life-changing for women and their families in our community. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kim.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jennifer. All those in favor? We are adjourned. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Be safe and good night. Thank you again
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you.